This is Zoning Board of Appeals. Today's Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We'll start with new business. We're going to call James and Linda Pietro.
Yep.
Okay, 39 Smith Road. Do you gentlemen want to state your name for the record, please, and tell me what you're asking for and why this board should grant you relief?
Hello, my name is Chris Pietro. I'm the son of Linda and James Pietro.
Okay.
And
Is Linda and James?
this is,
I'm James, my wife Linda.
Okay. And you are?
Contractor,
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Just state your name for the record.
Mark Lindblom.
Okay. So go ahead.
all right, good evening, members of the board. My name is Chris Pietro, and I'm here tonight respectfully asking for relief based on fairness, reliance, and substantial hardship. This is not a situation that we ignored the rules or attempted to bypass a process. In fact, we did the opposite. From the very beginning, we sought guidance, asked questions, and moved forward, only receiving confirmation that we were permitted to proceed. Good faith from the start. In May of 2022, we met with our architect to design a modest accessory dwelling unit of approximately 1,250 square feet with a two-car garage. In March of 2024, before finalizing the plans, my mother and father met with Kurt Meskis to specifically confirm that a two-car garage with a separate driveway would be allowed. They were told at the time it would. In June of 2024, our architect finalized the plans. On August 26, 2024, we presented those plans to the Board of Health. We discussed the garage, the driveway, and the overall configuration. We were told everything was acceptable and that we could proceed. Only after receiving that confirmation did we sign contracts and begin the work. We relied heavily on those representations in good faith. Since then, from a substantial financial reliance, based on the approvals, and guidance provided, we committed significant funds. I could give you specifics if you need, but to date, approximately $171,000. These are not speculative expenses. They are real, documented, and irreversible commitments made in reliance on the town's representations. From a compliance stance, when additional requirements were raised, we complied immediately. When stamped engineer plans were requested, we obtained them. When concerns were raised about bedrooms and septic capacity, we agreed to record a deed restriction. The restriction was filed and approved. We finalized construction, financing, in reliance on the expectation that the project was properly approved. At every stage, we have acted responsibly and cooperatively. This hardship is not self-created. We were told we could proceed, contracts were signed, land was cleared, materials were purchased, and funds were committed. We then learned that a change in state law and a municipal addendum would affect our permit. That change occurred after substantial reliance and investment. Without relief, we would unfortunately be left with significant financial exposure through what we believe is no fault of our own. We believe this is the type of circumstance hardship relief is intended to address, where a property owner acts in good faith, relies on official guidance, and later faces regulatory consequences that were not foreseeable at the time of commitment. Granting this variance would not undermine the intent of the zoning board regulations. This project complies with health safeguards. It includes a recorded deed of restriction. It's modest in size, was openly presented and reviewed. This request is not about expanding a project. It is about allowing us to complete what we were led to believe was fully permissible. In closing, we would like to ask the members of the board to understand that we did not rush, we did not avoid oversight, we did not ignore requirements. We relied on simply what we were told. We invested substantial financial funds in reliance on those representations. We're now asking the board to exercise its authority to prevent serious or potentially unfair financial hardship that arose from circumstances beyond our control. We respectfully request approval of our hardship variance so that we may complete our ADU project. On behalf of my family, we'd like to thank you for your time, your consideration, and your commitment to the community.
Okay, thank you. Now tell me exactly what you're doing and why, what the hardship is.
So my parents have resided at 39 Smith Road
Okay,
since 1988, I believe it was.
okay.
And
So what, when they bought the house, what was there? Single family house?
A colonial home with two-car garage.
Okay. So you got permits to do what and why is it now in violation?
so
Well-
we seeked permission to add an ADU on. One of the
Oh.
reasons that we wanted to do that is I'm an only child.
Yeah,
My parents are aging. So this is something we've been discussing since probably 2020. In
Okay.
2022,
yeah,
my family, we met with the architect to start discussion, and then followed that proceeding, as I had mentioned, met with Kurt Meskis, not myself, my mother and father did, in March of 2024,
okay.
to review the plans, the discussion of the process.
So when you originally put the plans together,
Mm-hmm.
was it a plan to build a in-law or an ADU? Was the ADU law passed already when you planned this? When did you start doing this? What year?
It was
2024 is when
Correct.
we presented the
All right, so it was a
plan.
year before the ADU law went into effect.
Right,
Correct.
right.
Okay. So with the plan that you presented in 2024, was it for,
It was for the ADU, 1,250 square feet with a two-car garage.
okay, so it was a living space with a two-car garage?
Correct.
That's correct,
Okay.
yes.
So what are we granting, what are you asking for in terms of a variance? What's short? Why is it short?
Okay, so in 2024,
Yeah,
we got the okay. I mean, I brought up plans, I showed them to Kurt.
yeah,
He said, bring them to the Board of Health, show it to the Board of Health.
yeah,
I went to the Board of Health, and I dropped off the plans. They said they would call me, let me know if everything was okay to go.
okay,
So I had explained to him at the time that we had a four-bedroom colonial,
yeah,
but one of the bedrooms upstairs was strictly an office,
okay,
all right? So I got a phone call that afternoon from the Board of Health, and it said that the plans were viewed. I got a verbal okay, go ahead with the project. We then got in touch with the contractor. The contractor came and said, yeah, I can start the job. This is in August of 2024. We gave him a down payment, the land was surveyed, and he began working in a couple of weeks, cutting down trees, removing stone wall, getting the land prepared for the proposed driveway to the two-car garage,
okay,
all right? This work was completed mid-November. And we had decided, okay, we'll wait till the spring of 2025 to continue the project.
okay,
The spring of 2025 was constant rain, all right?
yeah,
We then had, a contractor, we had the rain, and actually nothing was happening. And then we had gotten in touch with Little Diggers in Auburn. They were gonna come in and do the preparation work as far as the driveway was concerned, so that they could get the heavy equipment in to dig the foundation. We then found out that Mass law had changed
yeah,
in, I forget when it was,
February,
February. We had no idea that had changed.
okay,
And when we applied for the building permit, we then learned that,
it didn't meet the requirements anymore.
right, right.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we had had the driveway preparation done.
So you haven't
We
started
had-
construction yet?
Yeah, and we had,
No construction has been started yet, just some clearing of trees and some ground prep is done, but no construction has started, sir.
Okay,
but because of what was happening politically with the tariffs and everything, You know, the contractor suggested, hey, let's lock into a price for the for the lumber to build the project. And, you know, Mark went up to Home Depot, he worked with Home Depot, they priced out the lumber, which we invested $100,000 in, and we have that lumber stored when the project begins. So now we find out, oh my God, the state passed a law, and the town added an addendum to it, and we've got all this money invested, and,
Quite frankly, it's ended up, it's been really hard
Oh,
for
okay,
our
so,
family.
so you're asking right now in the application for variance, gross dimensional variance, and square footage relief, per the denial letter. Do you have any, I mean, I have a plan that's attached to this right now that,
It was the size was when they did the plans, sir, the plans were done to 1,235 square feet. So again, and then I know the town of, then the ADU law came into 900 square feet, so it's
Right.
335 square feet. It runs perpendicular to the house, so it's not like it's even gonna be shown from the road, it's more in the length side, the width hadn't changed at all. And then they added the two-car garage as well, so the whole variance is like 550 square feet.
so you don't have, are you asking for just relief on, what are you asking for relief on this?
For Kurt Meck to sign off, he said we had to go here
Mm-hmm.
for the variance on the ADU size.
So that's the 256 square feet?
Yes. So nothing overly substantial considering the size houses on that road. And the reason they want to keep the garage set is they already have the stamped engineered plans for it, so to do a detached garage to then go under the new addendum laws, that's why we're asking for the relief, sir.
So that's the 450 square feet.
Yes.
You're asking, so,
Seems like there's two numbers.
yeah,
Yeah.
so what are what are the two numbers for?
One of them falls underneath, so the stamped engineered plans are for 1,235 square feet. So 330, so it's larger than what the ADU clause of 900 square feet allows. And then and then it comes up to be 1,250 square feet, all under one roof. So we were just trying to, again, get the variance so that so that Kirk could approve that, so I could start this in the springtime.
You guys have,
Well, I'm curious if they examined redesigning to meet the requirements.
The redesigning to meet the requirements, I know the homeowners wanna keep due to age, they wanna try to keep the roof attached to it. And all the stamped engineered plans they already had done prior to have the roof attached to the rest of the ADU and tied into the left side of their property. So it would have to be a complete redo, that's why they were asking for the variance.
So it's not a detached ADU?
What's that?
It's not a detached ADU?
It's not a detached ADU, it is an attached ADU to the current house.
And the garage piece is very important for my mother. She had a significant slip and fall approximately 6 years ago. Had to have major oral reconstructive surgery. It was quite a process. And again, as Mark had alluded to, the fact that my family is getting older, mom and dad, that's important, especially for weather like we're having outside right now. I don't want to see my mother or father have to go through that walking outside if possible.
But there's already a two-car garage on there, right?
That's on the house,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah. We're talking with the ADU.
So your parents gonna move into the ADU, or?
Yeah. Yes, yep,
So you're gonna take over the main house, and your parents are gonna move into the ADU?
correct. Yes,
And both the ADU and the house have a garage.
yes,
You'll have two-car garages?
Yeah.
yes.
Now, the other reason is that the lumber has already been purchased for the designed house and garage.
Mhm.
And in order to make changes, you know, what would happen with the lumber? That's already paid for.
I do want to hear from Kurt.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hear from building inspector slash zoning enforcement officer, Mr. Meskis.
Gentlemen, Kurt Meskis, Building Commissioner, Zoning Enforcement Officer. If I may, the usual set of handouts. Dale?
Oh, she must have left for a minute.
Bigger than the house.
So the handouts include the locust plan on the first page. This is Smith Road, it's an area of colonial houses. Some of the area is in the historical district, that's not before this board. As the applicant indicates on page 2, they have a two-story colonial with an attached garage on the right-hand side, and they seek to put this ADU addition on the left-hand side. That's page 2 of the photos. Page 3 of the photos show 37 Smith Road, the house to the left of it, and 44 Smith Road, the house across the street. These are all 60,000 or so square foot lots with 175 feet of frontage. This is, not our usual thing where we're talking about a lot that's undersized, that's pre-existing non-conforming. And then also included in the package is a layout, which I have the larger version of here, for the proposed project. So everything from this green line to the right is the existing house. Everything from the green line to the left is the proposed addition and attached garage. I may have had conversations with these folks. I have lots of conversations with folks. We're talking about back in 2022 and 2024. I didn't research my records to see who or what I talked to, but this is what I tell people. This is what I know now. And nothing is a sure bet until a building permit has been issued. Whenever I write an email and somebody inquires about, can I build an ADU, can I do this, can I do that, it says it appears. You might be able to. But this is not legal advice, this is not appealable, this is not to be relied on, and nothing is sure until a building permit is issued, just because of situations like this. Where the governor and the state, the legislatures enacted a new law that superseded the laws that we had in place for the town of Charlton. The town of Charlton for over 20 years has allowed accessory apartments. And those accessory apartments came with a specific set of circumstances that said it must be attached to the house. It couldn't be more than 1,250 square feet. It had to be occupied by the owner of the property, and it had to have an interior connection to it. State law came out and says we cannot unreasonably regulate nor prohibit the construction of an ADU attached or detached. The owner no longer has to live in the home, but they are separate dwelling units. So it's a duplex by the building code, but by zoning, it's a primary residence in an ADU.
Okay.
Okay? This is the rendering that they provided us for the facade of the house. This would be the street out here, same thing, left-hand side is the existing property, right-hand side, I'm sorry. Right-hand side is the existing property, the left-hand side is the proposed addition. The problem we have is a one of time. So they mentioned that they got approvals from the Board of Health. Well, they brought plans and showed them to the Board of Health, but no permit had been issued. They brought plans and then they showed them to me, but no permit had been issued, no application had been brought forth. They came maybe and talked to me in May of 2024. That was spoken by the applicant. In August of 2024, the governor signed the Affordable Homes Act, which then changed what we were allowed to do with ADUs in February of 2025, which they've spoken to. Couple of key terms here. And these are out of our bylaws. Accessory dwelling unit, a self-contained housing unit inclusive of sleeping, cooking, and sanitary facilities on the same lot as the principal dwelling, subject to otherwise applicable dimensional parking, setbacks, lot coverage, and requirements of this bylaw. Okay, we meet the setbacks, that's not a problem.
Right.
Our lot coverage, we don't have excessive lot coverage. We got past that.
Yep.
This is where we get into the rub. The gross floor area of the ADU, according to the state law, 900 square feet or half the size of the principal dwelling unit. Charlton has been more than generous and has allowed a 1,250 square foot ADU for probably 5 years. When I started 20 years ago, 23 years ago, an ADU was limited to 500 square feet. That's smaller than their two-car garage. Charlton also, because the ADU law changed, is allowed to make modifications to it that don't go against the intent. So we allow a 1,250 square foot attached ADU, which the blue area is 1,124 square feet. Checks the box. The annex, or what I'm calling the annex, the part that they're taking over in the house, as part of the ADU, is another 382 square feet, giving us a total of 1,506 square feet.
All right, so the existing structure right now, the ADU is gonna be part of the existing structure?
The ADU is separated by a door over here, so this is the line between the house and the ADU. And they're using this area here as part of the ADU.
Oh,
Allowed is 1,250 square feet. We're over by 256 square feet of the 1,250 square foot allowed ADU
And that's because of what's being annexed in
here.
the existing house.
But that sounds to me like it would have been not meeting the prior regulations either.
Prior regulations didn't consider these separate dwelling units.
Okay.
because it's considered two dwelling units.
now.
Under the prior regulation, you had to have, like, be related and all this other stuff,
Mhm.
so you would consider it still as one dwelling unit.
Right.
The fact that you don't need to be related anymore, or anything like that, they've separated it into a separate separate dwelling unit altogether. That makes sense.
Now, we're 1,500 square feet of ADU, but our footprint, our new footprint is this area.
That's right.
So on top of the ADU of 1,124 square feet, we have a garage that's 576 square feet, for a total of 1,700 square feet of footprint area.
Is the ADU a single level?
Single level,
Okay.
attic space above the garage, crawl space underneath the ADU.
Okay.
We're allowed a 1,250 square foot footprint. We're 450 square feet over the allowance, the footprint of the building,
Including the garage.
including the garage.
You know, but if we didn't, if the annex portion wasn't counted, they wouldn't be 450 feet over then.
Yes, they would, because that does not include this space. The annex, this space over here is
I think it was all the first number, but not the second number, if I understand correctly.
1,700 square feet.
So the first number is the annex portion, the second number is the 450 for the 12,
For the garage.
for the garage.
The first number of being over is 256 square feet.
Which would be that portion right there, that's
That
the
portion.
living room, study, whatever that is.
But then the footprint of the addition
It's still
is
exceeded.
over by 450 square feet.
Right, so that was not supposed to go over 1,250.
Right. Total. If they had a garage under, the ADU was on top of the garage, if this was a walkout property where the garage was under, and the ADU sat on top of the 1,250 square foot garage or whatever it is, and the ADU was 1,250 square feet, we would be good.
So if,
May I ask you a quick question?
yeah,
So in 24, would this plan have been approved?
In July of 2024, yes.
Okay.
so let
And see
me,
that, oh, I'm sorry.
so let me ask you a question. According to the plan that's there right now,
Mhm.
all right, the way that it proposed existing dining room and study are right now, for you to properly annex that, you need to reconfigure the entire first floor, including the kitchen and everything like that, correct? That's not the way that it's set up right now, is it? It says proposed kitchen on there, right? So why, so the way that would be right now is that, I mean, most people would have some sort of entry between the dining room and the kitchen. That doesn't show that, so you're also redoing the entire first floor in order for that to work.
No.
I don't think so, maybe.
Can I just show you something here? This here is, in the existing house.
Yeah.
This is the living room and this is the dining room.
Okay,
Now, from what my understanding was, is that there had to be a connection between the original house and the attached ADU. Is that correct or not?
That
I
was
don't-
correct in 2024
Four,
until
right.
the rules
when the
changed.
rule changed, it didn't really make as much of a difference.
So if there was just a connection here from the ADU and this was considered common living space for the original house and the ADU, would that be acceptable?
You still have the footprint issue is still there.
Well, the footprint issue is because of the two-car garage, which was,
But
you
it's
know,
exacerbated by the fact that you're taking part of the ADU and shifting it into a different dwelling unit.
Not the footprint piece.
No, the footprint is
It's
new
over,
construction.
but, so if we were to accept that just the way it is right now, with the study and that dining room area, if that becomes part of the ADU, that becomes a complete part of the separate dwelling unit. It's a, if we took the green and accepted that, then that gets added on to the overage for the footprint. See, the footprint's over.
No, the footprint would be,
It's being added.
Footprint's only gets to be, I guess
the
only when it's
footprint
being
area
added.
problem is
Right,
over here.
yes, I understand that.
So that's what's over by 450?
Yeah.
Correct. But the annex portion,
Makes it,
Adds to the ADU,
which makes the first
Not
number
to
over.
the footprint.
which is a problem for the ADU, not.
for the problem for the ADU, right.
Not the footprint
Right.
issue.
So we have two different issues, really.
Yes.
Yes.
Two different
Yeah,
variances
so
that need to be
here's-
granted.
Now, the gentleman asked a question, if there was a, if they were to leave this with part of the house and put a common connection here, the common connection thing has gone away.
Right.
It is no longer a
Doesn't make any difference
requirement.
anymore, right,
It is actually detrimental,
yeah.
because now we have two dwelling units, and I have to jump out of zoning into the building code. The building code requires an hour separation between the ADU, or the dwelling unit, and that dwelling. They can have a convenience store in between, as long as it also maintains an hour rating. So,
You get me a
So
little bit lost.
it's a,
Building
it's
code.
a fire, it's a fire rating.
It's a
Yeah,
fire.
I'm sure it is.
It's not gonna be able to survive an hour under fire.
Oh, okay,
So now it's more like a duplex.
it's,
yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but under this, and I'm careful about trying not to muddy the waters here, okay? I run in two major worlds in my life. Zoning, okay, which in Charlton, a duplex is not allowed in this zone. However, because it is an ADU, the law says we can have it. The building code is agnostic to what we're
What does it
calling
rate?
the use,
Yeah.
whether it's a condo, a duplex, a townhome. It cares about dwelling unit separation.
Okay.
So what do we, is there a hardship required for us to approve this, or what's the
Yeah.
standard?
I mean,
Is there a standard when it was now new, ADU law that we're
Well, we-
abiding by?
Yeah, we can't consider what it was before, we have to, what's in
Abide
front
by
of us
the-
now.
I mean, if we think about like, if I own a 45,000 square foot lot and it's buildable today, and then next year the town changes the zoning and it requires a 50,000 square foot lot, then is that a hardship? Because I never bothered to build on it and I decide, and I don't know if that's a hardship.
But the hardship is evident to me in that they've invested time, money, resources, drawings, going through the process. That is the hardship.
Well, typically our hardships are like the topography and
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
I understand, and this
pre-existing
isn't
conditions.
typical to what we've been dealing with because it's new.
The law is new.
The law is
I
new.
have less problem with the actual ADU. The annex part of it bothers me more than the actual footprint does.
And I'm not saying I don't really mind the ADU either, I'm
Yeah.
just talking it through.
No, same, I
Yeah.
agree talking it through.
Because you figure this, is that we allow this with that annex portion in there, and then you're creating two dwelling units. I mean, aside from the fact of all the problems you're gonna have with the building code and creating, because essentially you're taking a portion of the structure and now you're creating all this
I get the
chaos.
sense, I get the sense they don't really care about, they did that because they thought they needed to for the previous requirements.
Maybe,
And they would have for the previous requirements in
So,
yeah.
am I hearing right that,
2024.
that you don't need to have that included in the new ADU?
Need to have what?
The
The
study
study
and
and the
the
other-
dining room?
Yeah, no, it's that, it was just, there was the idea that we thought the main house had to be connected to the ADU. Right?
Yeah.
And there had to be some entrance into the ADU. And so we just simply said, well, if we had a door or an opening here, you know, this could be common living space for my son and his family.
But you don't really even want that now, because that hurts you even more under the new law.
So where is the entrance to the ADU?
It's gonna be, the entrance would be from the garage.
You don't have any other,
Yep.
no other
And then
entrance?
there's gonna be a deck on the back.
And you got a front door, here and then a back deck.
Oh, okay, so there's a
Egress.
door
So
next to the
there-
garage?
Yes, sir, there's multiple egresses.
Yeah.
I mean, that, if we do that.
But I mean, the idea of the two-car garage was, as my son had alluded to earlier, my wife has had trouble walking in the last few years. And, you know, a garage under with a ADU on top would mean climbing stairs. We wanted something similar to what we have on our house right now, where you pull into the garage and you walk into the living space.
And chopping it to one-car garage still doesn't achieve the requirement.
No, not really.
But
It's less of an overage.
But again, the other problem is, this was started in 2024 before the state changed the laws, right? We've spent $100,000.
I
on the
understand
loan.
that, but I
Yeah.
don't think that, you know, this is, the fact that you relied on the law, and then they
We
changed
didn't
the
know about the
law,
law.
right, they
Yeah.
changed
We
the
didn't
law.
know about the law.
No.
Yeah, they changed the law before you got a permit, you know, that's like I
Yeah.
said, is if I owned a house 5 years
Right.
ago that fit a lot, if I had a lot that can fit a house 5 years ago, and they changed the, you know, frontage or square footage, and I haven't done anything, it's not, like, there's no hardship for me there, you know, if I had pulled a building permit then, you know, it wouldn't have been as big of a deed, it wouldn't be a problem, and now all of a sudden I have an unbuildable lot, and I
Yeah.
have to get relief from it, and I would need to find, I guess the question,
I think, is it Marco?
Yes.
I think Marco, what he was saying is, it, like, you know, the reason this is interesting is because it's new, with the new state law changes, and we're not contractors, we're not up to date on the law. We simply had communication, we consulted with appropriate parties, and we did what we thought was the right thing to do with the information we were given. That's why we proceeded. We went through the architectural plans. We've, had $40,000 spent for our contractor for clearing, surveying, planning. We have spent $6,000 with our architect. To date, $16,168 with Little Diggers for driveway preparation, $9,879 for a foundation deposit, and $100,000 in materials through Home Depot. Again, there's no way.
why would you have not pulled a permit when you did all that other stuff then?
We were just doing some, because we were told before that everything was gonna be good to go, so all we did, we just did some basic prep, some like
You
basic.
bought $100,000 worth of lumber, you would think you'd buy a permit at that point.
We had it,
I mean,
when we
nobody
did the.
expects the stuff, nobody expects the rules to change.
No, I get
No,
that.
I understand,
but I'm
and,
like,
and
yeah.
I do apologize for that. I will take the blame for that.
Yeah,
I'm not dissing it off on these guys. I'll
Yeah.
take the blame for that. I was doing other projects with Home Depot, with the Pro Desk, which I use constantly.
yeah,
I had other projects going on. I'm like, okay, I can save these guys a ton of money. Let's do a bundle. We've already checked off this on the permit, towards everything else. We should be good to go. So I will take the hit on that portion of it. But again, when it comes down to size for their living space, it's pretty much from, from from us to you is what the living space variance is.
Short of making it a garage below, or is there really no way to even make it? I mean, it's not a huge.
No, I can keep it single, one level.
When you drive down Smith Road, I mean, like it was stated, I don't know the square footage, but they are all they're relatively large houses this house is decent size, and what we're adding on for,
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily gonna impact the neighborhood
you give
in
one neighbor
such
to
a
the
way that
left.
it's gonna be way out of whack or whatever.
No,
My family was, we were very careful when meeting with the architect and having discussions
Yeah,
in
I
regards
don't
to, we
think that's
wanted it to
necessarily-
fit into the neighborhood.
At least not for me, it's not an issue at all.
I mean, it's something that, you know, my
I guess
parent,
My two things, you guys, is that, one is where is the actual hardship? Can we rely on the fact that, can we say that the hardship is that they relied on a law that doesn't exist any longer? Is that, and then spent money on that based on that reliance? Is that sufficient to meet the statute, number one? That's and the second part of it is that I think that if I were to think about granting a variance for the square footage on that, part of that would be is that this part of the existing house would not be considered part of the new ADU, that it would stay with the existing dwelling unit. It just doesn't make sense to me to do that, because once you grant that, and if that's annexed, you know, who knows whether or not, you know, these folks may be there for another 50 years, they could sell the house, this property 2 years from now, and now you might have a bigger problem.
Well, that's one of the reasons that we got a deed restriction on it.
correct. Yeah, we
I
came,
mean, you know, the Board of Health had said, listen,
The
you,
deed restrictions through the Board of Health
yes,
for the septic system.
for the septic system and the number of bedrooms, all
Okay, yeah.
right?
I'm not, that's the Board of Health, that's, yeah. It doesn't-
So, well, may I make a few suggestions?
Yeah.
One, the deed restriction is because the house has 4 bedrooms in it.
Yeah,
Four or 5?
Yeah,
Yes.
four,
bedrooms in it.
four bedrooms.
The septic system is sized for 4 bedrooms.
right,
By putting a deed restriction and saying the house only has 3 bedrooms on it, the ADU is the 4th bedroom unit. They don't have to improve their septic system.
Right.
okay,
Okay,
that's fine,
Okay.
yeah.
It's unfortunate that they bought a bunch of lumber. I don't think I'd count that $100,000 into the hardship. I don't buy lumber until I have a permit in hand. Okay? I think what needs to happen is that they need to ask for a continuance. And in this continuance, they're gonna come back and they're gonna say, we're gonna leave this as part of the house,
Yeah, that's what I would,
and you're only gonna need a minimal variance for the size of the ADU. Actually, probably not even, wait a minute. Oh, nope, their ADU meets the size, it's 1,124 square feet.
so they're asking for a variance for the garage then?
So now, we need relief only for the garage,
Yeah, that would make more sense,
okay? And because of the dwelling unit thing,
yeah.
right, each one having to be an independent dwelling unit, there's gonna have to be some redesign here, because I need 2 independent means of egress from each dwelling unit. Okay, and one of them has gotta be a 36-inch door to the outside, and the other one can be through the garage if the garage has a man door in it.
Sounds like it already has that, no?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Where's the exterior man door from the garage?
Oh, exterior man door?
Yes.
Okay, we can put in an exterior man door.
I would feel more
Just a
comfortable
regular
with that, what you're
garage
saying,
doors
that
with
makes
the
more
windows.
sense.
yeah. With what?
Yeah, you guys agree with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what he's saying?
and that's what they, honestly, that's what they want too.
Yeah, I think so.
Could
You
some-
understand what he's saying?
No, I don't.
Okay, so right now, the way the law is right now, is that the ADU is considered a separate dwelling, even though that it's attached to the house. So if this was to be built, you actually have a 2-dwelling house, like a
Okay.
two different units.
Okay.
2 different dwellings. Prior to the law changing, you had 1 unit with an accessory apartment or whatever on it. It was still considered 1 unit.
Okay.
Under the new law, these are 2 separate units, like a 2-family house.
Okay.
All right, so number one, this would be my thing as well, is that the existing study and dining room, the way you have it annexed, I probably would not vote for that as part of the existing dwelling unit. I would want it to stay as part of the original house. Whether you put a door in between or not, that's not really, that's up to the building inspector or whatever, but it would still be part of the existing house, so you would not annex it to the ADU.
Okay.
And then, if you look at the design of the ADU itself, all right, without the garage, I think you need to make some minor adjustments to that design, and it falls within the existing law, then we would grant you a continuance to come back, and you're gonna ask for just a variance for the garage. That's all we would need a variance for. So all you need to do is tell us that what the hardship is for the garage, that you can't put it in another spot, that, that you have a septic system someplace where the sideline is, something like that, and that's the way we would look at it. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
I understand that. For me personally, like the ADU, obviously that would be a place where my mother and father would reside.
Right.
If we continue with this, do you have any questions, Dad? Do you
So
have
the
concerns?
existing study and the existing dining room remains part of the main house.
Yes, but we
But-
can connect the dining room to the ADU, correct? I mean, we could put a door there
If you want to.
if we wanted to.
It should be an exterior door. It's gonna be two different still two different whole units.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, so you're not making it just like a open area or whatever as part of the house. It would be that the ADU is one house on its own, and then the
Right.
house is, because it's, 2 years you sell this, and you sell it to someone, and some guy decides he's gonna rent those two out or do whatever,
Yeah.
it's kinda makes a little bit of a mess of it. So you're essentially
Can you
making
get a
this,
deed restriction on that as well?
that's a Board of Health thing, has anything to
No.
do, yeah.
So, the hardship,
They would come for a hardship on the garage.
correct, and that possibly being that it's a one level and a redesign would, like, you'd have to put it underneath to maintain the square footage.
Right,
And you're not gonna do that, cause that's a total redesign of.
Yeah, of the
doesn't
whole
fit-
thing.
Doesn't fit the lot.
But like, they could come back to us at the next meeting and say to us, okay, there's no other place for us to put the garage, given the shape of the lot, or, where the house is sitting now, the septic system, where the leach field is, where the well is sitting, maybe it slopes off in the back or the side.
None of
They-
that, none of that, sorry.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have cut you off, I'm sorry.
It's all right, don't worry about it.
But it
So it's
doesn't
the
change the
hardship.
square footage. If you move it to the side, it doesn't change the square footage.
No, it doesn't, no. But that's like.
But we're not
I don't
dealing
think-
with two, we're,
We're dealing with a garage. that
just
they're
the
asking.
garage versus,
Right, but the footprint size doesn't change.
No, you're absolutely right, right. It's like,
Okay.
yeah,
That's what that's what you're
we're
asking for the
splitting
variance.
hairs, really,
Understood.
yeah.
So the original plans that we designed, that's something that the board doesn't feel comfortable with at the moment, if I'm understanding correctly?
I think that you may need to, the original plan as it's designed right now, might need some small changes to it to meet the ADU without the garage and without that annex portion in there.
Okay.
So, but you would have to talk to the building inspector, zoning enforcement officer on that.
But there's another piece that, basically, we're looking, in order to grant you this variance, we need to have a hardship. And we're not sure we can count the lot changing and the money you put into it beforehand as a hardship. So, I think what Frank is saying is if you can come up with another hardship is like why the garage needs to be where it is. And it can't be somewhere else or done in some other fashion. So we have another hardship to justify granting this for you.
Is a hardship, though, just out of curiosity, I mean, like, when I did some research on this, because obviously this isn't my area that I usually work with, by definition, isn't that like where a property owner acts in good faith?
No.
Relies on official guidance?
So the hardship exists due to some sort of, typically it's some sort of physical thing with the lot that's unique to your lot, that's not with somebody else. So a lot of times, we'll find a hardship with the slope of the lot,
Okay.
so the slope goes down. So a hardship is given the shape of the lot, you know, a septic system can only be put in this place. We can't move it someplace else. Or there's a well here, and it would, you know, we can't, that's already there, or something along those lines usually is a hardship.
I just thought I
we don't doubt that you are acting in good faith in any way at all. I mean, we certainly see
No,
what's
no, I
going on here.
appreciate that. I just heard money coming up over here, like I thought I
Yeah,
heard Margot
and
talking
we
about
don't
money.
necessarily, we won't necessarily just look at, like you bought the lumber as a hardship, you know what I mean?
Sure, I
Yeah.
mean, no, it goes back to.
Yeah, and
the
that's
original-
just, and this is not the board, this is what the statute says.
So we're gonna adjust the hardship.
Yeah,
Roger that.
yeah, you understand what we're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in terms of the timeline for this, when do we have to have a decision by?
I'm unsure.
Okay, can we find that out?
Yes, give me 1 second.
I have one other question.
Yeah,
It's not in the meeting.
When you talk about redesigning, we have to redesign that whole ADU?
you would talk to the zoning enforcement building inspector about that. So, there's certain things, I think, what we're saying is that there might necessarily be some minor changes that you need to make sure that you're in compliance with the ADU.
With the building code.
Understood.
Yeah, it went well with the zoning too. I mean, if the square footage is a little bit off just with the ADU, then I would work with them, find out what the adjustments that you might need to make, and make those adjustments. I don't, from what it looks like is that if there is minor adjustments, it's not gonna be major stuff for you. It looks like you're pretty close, if not.
No, well, the only thing I'm thinking about here is, you know, like you said, you don't talk about the investment that we bought the lumber and
Right,
stuff
right, yeah.
on this plan. All right? So all the lumber that has been purchased
For that
on
plan.
that architectural plan. All right? So now,
Yeah, I mean,
I,
Hold on,
you
so,
know-
so the changes would be more inside, not structural, is that accurate?
I don't know the answer
Or-
to
okay.
that, yeah. So
Okay.
you wanna have your your contractor talk with the zoning enforcement officer, building
Mhm.
inspector, and come up with something that's gonna work, and then
Mhm.
you'll come back to us the next meeting with the update, and then, you know, we can make a decision based on that. When's the day?
Sorry, it's April 22nd.
Okay, so we're in March, right? This is March,
Yeah.
this is March.
What is it?
That's the third,
What month is this?
March 3rd.
All right.
So we got 600
April
weeks.
22nd is for what, if you don't, is that for
So-
us, or?
So by statute, we have so many days, once you file an application for a variance,
Yeah,
we have so many days to begin the public hearing. And then once that's started, we have so many days to make a decision.
okay,
So if we don't, and we can extend that out in writing, or we can just, right now, within the time frame
Mhm.
between now and the next meeting, so we would probably meet probably within the next 30 days or so, and then you would come back to us then. And then if that didn't work, then, you know, we would decide what to do at that point.
So, and approximately a month from now, because you guys meet, what, the first Tuesday?
So we meet as needed typically, so, you know, if we know we're having another meeting, we'll set a date for this. You know, probably sometime the first week in April.
Okay, so, okay.
But, you know, it's not like, we don't have enough applications that we need to meet like every second week of the month or whatever, we're not at that point right now.
So I think, Mr. Chairman, under the rules, you have to continue to a date certain.
So you wanna take a look at that right now, Dave? Yeah,
And we do have another application, well, I did issue another letter of
I don't,
problem to another property that may, you
it's more on you guys, what you're available. I have no social life on Tuesdays anyways.
Same here.
Everything's been advertised, so we don't need to wait for that.
Yeah.
So we could meet on the 24th of March or the 31st of March.
what, but we're not into our 100 days yet.
Or April 7th or April 14th.
I could do April 7th.
Margo, what do you think?
April 7th
Say that
works.
with enthusiasm and conviction.
April 7th. Okay.
You good with April seventh?
I think so.
You wanna do April seventh?
Do you think that's enough turnaround time?
Should give, it should not take long. I'll talk to Kurt and change
I'm gonna hand him my business card and say, call my office
Yes.
and make an appointment for next week.
We
And
So would someone make a motion to continue this petition until April 7th, 2026?
I'll make a motion to continue this until April 7th, 2026.
Second? Marco seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, come back to us
April 7th.
April 7th.
All right, thank you,
7
guys.
PM Eastern Standard Time.
All right, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Glad you added that.
You know, when we get confused with Greenwich Mean Time, you know, Central Mountain Time, one of those other times, you know?
All those other extra times.
Thanks. Good luck. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Next on the agenda, Rafat Shenandoah, 9 City Depot Road. So, do you want to state your name for the record, please?
Hi, my name's Jay Gallant. I'm an architect working with the owner of the pizza shop.
So you own the pizza shop, but not the actual property, right?
I own the business, George's Pizza, yeah.
Okay. But you don't own the actual...
No, just
Okay.
the pizza store.
Okay.
So, should I attach I'll attach the drawings to here so we can review.
Yeah, that's fine. Just out of curiosity, before we start, your lease allows you to do this? Dale?
I received email permission from the owner, Randy LeBeau.
Okay. That's all I need.
I've spoken with him about this too, with the property owner.
Yeah, so because you're gonna make a change to the property owner should probably be okay with that. That's why I asked, like, sometimes the lease will allow you to do that too, if you had a commercial lease. All right, so, do you want to explain to us, what you're proposing and why this board should grant you guys relief for, your proposal?
The reason that we're here is because the property is about 900 square feet less than the lot size that would be allowed for new construction. And we're improving the property, so that's why we're here. So,
What exactly are you gonna do, and, so, the petition says you're gonna remove an existing refrigerator or freezer? Is it external one or something?
so there's a little bit of history here. So, the current owner of the pizza shop took possession of it after a new cooler had been installed, apparently without a permit, which was news to us, but that's going to be part of our exercise here.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so part of it is making that all work, and then secondarily is, I guess there was an old structure kind of around the old cooler that was there, which was removed.
Yeah.
And now we want to build one that's safer, compliant to codes, that sort of thing. The idea is it's a small shop. He doesn't really have a place where he can store his things. So essentially, this is dry goods storage and cooler outside the building. So right now, they go outside to go into the refrigerator, which isn't ideal. So the purpose of the project is to build an enclosure so they can stay inside.
All right, so I have two pictures right here on this. This is the cooler as it stands right now?
The new one?
I don't know.
Yes, so I guess the old one is the one on the right, Kurt?
Yes.
And the new one is the one on the left. And, Kurt's observation was, well, the cooler just sort of appeared there, which in his-
So you have to exit the building,
Yes.
go outside, get into the cooler, and then come back inside.
It's all the cooler, it was like 50 years old,
The old one
the
was.
old one.
When you bought it though, the new one was already there.
We did already new one beside this old one
Yeah,
because we don't have any. It wasn't me actually.
yeah.
I just buy this.
I'm not
Yeah.
getting it.
So now I want to use the old working cooler like storage.
So you wanna keep the old, you wanna
I
keep,
take the old cooler. I want all land, just land for the old working cooler. I want to use it like storage. Like we should try this.
Oh, so there's a slab there where the old cooler was.
It's just 10 feet by 10 feet. Same thing.
I don't know anything about the old cooler.
Yeah, the cooler seems irrelevant, they just wanna build
Yeah.
a storage room.
Yeah.
well, you're not gonna keep the existing thing where it is and then build around it. You're gonna take everything down and you're just gonna put a whole new.
Correct.
Even if you're using the same refrigeration unit, it's gonna be a whole new room.
It's a new, right,
Yeah.
it's an addition to the building.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
it's, you know, with,
So what's there now is gonna get removed, and you're gonna replace it with what you have, what you're proposing.
that's correct.
Okay. And this will be cold storage or dry storage or both?
Dry storage and the cooler itself. So it's basically a shed for dry storage and to create indoor access to the cooler itself. And the cooler is just a regular walk-in cooler, like you would see in any restaurant. It's a
Okay.
big refrigerator.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And it's not really visible from.
It's directly
anywhere.
behind the building, yeah, it's not really visible.
Yeah.
It,
It's not gonna interfere with fire access or anything? That's not our issue, I guess.
no, it's not really.
It's just a big open space behind the building, so it's close to the building, there's plenty of room around.
So you're just looking for a special permit on this?
Correct, so Mr. Meskis was just, you know, he's just saying that we need to show that it's not detrimental to the property, the
To
neighborhood.
the neighborhood itself?
Yeah. Which it's not.
No, it doesn't seem that way. Marco, you have any questions or anything like that?
It's because it's pre-existing non-conforming, and they
Yeah,
don't
I don't
meet
think, I don't think there's any
the
issue.
square footage requirements.
Yeah, I don't think there's
but-
any issues with like, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, just a pre-existing non-conforming. It's a change, alteration, extension of the
existing
existing
structure.
use, yeah. You have any questions, Jason?
No? Hear from Kurt or whatever?
Do you wanna hear from the building inspector, zoning enforcement officer?
Hi, Kurt Meskis, Building Commissioner, Zoning Enforcement Officer, the usual set of handouts.
I should start saving these on this.
Stack.
As the applicant has indicated, this is a problem, this is a property that had several problems. The problem before the zoning board of appeals is the applicant has said this is a pre-existing non-conforming lot, it's deficient in the area requirement for the zone. By about 900 square feet or whatever. So we have the aerial view of the property. We have a couple of front views of the property. It's an L-shaped building. The proposed work is behind the building. There seems to be some confusion about who did what when. There was never a building behind this building. I have no records of it. I have no pictures. In all my pictures, I have a picture of January 23rd of 2023 where this cooler was put in, don't know when it was put in, you know, was against the back of the building. Probably by the previous owner, or the previous operator of the pizza shop without a permit. Because I don't remember it being there when we permitted the pizza shop. Got a call from the Board of Health one day, there was construction activity going on the property. We went down to investigate that the construction activity had commenced for the erection of a wooden structure that was going to encase the cooler. Stop work order was issued, notice was given to the owner, and also as we worked through the process, then it was discovered, as we can see, that there was a cooler at the back door, and it has magically disappeared and been replaced. It's in a pile on the property. And the mill across the street is the mill across the street. That's its own separate problem. There's a couple of houses to the left, multifamily houses to the left. So the question is it more detrimental to the neighborhood? The neighborhood can't see it. There are some other things that aren't under the purview of this board, but once they get past this board, if the board does issue a variance or a special permit for it, they still have to deal with the Conservation Commission, because they're within a river zone, 200-foot river zone, and we're gonna have to figure out that when Mr. Gallant is gonna work with as the registered design professional to ensure that the building is structurally, the proposed building and what's there is structurally sound. And so the original cooler was here.
Ah, I see.
And this is a slab that was poured without a permit.
So the slab in the photo is what the proposed area would look like?
Yes.
Okay. And then, so if they were to build on that slab, that cooler as it is right now in the photo would remain exactly the way it is. So that cooler is not moving, you really can't really tell from the photos at all if there's any space between the wall, between the back of the thing. I don't know, the rest is vent.
The cooler that we see in the photo is this cooler that's here.
Right, so that's that right there. yeah.
So
That's that
there's,
new cooler. So there is 5 feet of space there
Okay.
between the buildings.
Yeah,
There is a bit of a driveway or access way
Right.
around the side.
yeah,
But over here is a pond. It was the mill suction pond for fire suppression, but it is classified under the conservation rules as a river. And any work within 200 feet of a riparian zone river is under the jurisdiction of the Conservation
Conservation.
Commission.
Yep.
And any dirt movement or anything on that property,
yeah.
that whole property is within the river zone. Fortunately, I checked this the other day, because as I learned this, it's like, I better turn on my floodplain, and it's not in a floodplain.
Oh,
And it's
good
like,
for you, yeah,
really? But it's not.
that's good, lucky. All right, do we have any other questions for the applicants right now?
no, I mean, just before, is this an extension of the pre-existing non-conforming?
Yeah, it's a change, extension, alteration of a pre-existing non-conforming use, which
Right.
requires a special permit. We would have to find that the change or whatever is not more detrimental and in harmony with the current neighborhood. I mean, it's kind of a mix between multifamily, industrial, retail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and then no one can see it or anything like that.
There's
Yeah.
no woods behind it.
Yeah,
And there are no setback issues with this
yeah,
project.
so it would just be that.
Okay.
Yeah. You have a question? Nope. All right, so, are there any, abutters or persons of interest that wanna make a comment, say anything? Nope, all right, we'll go through the regular roll call. Anybody from conservation, town accountants, planning board, we've already heard from the building inspector, zoning enforcement officer, town clerk, selectman's office, assessor, tax collector, board of health, economic development, senior center, food pantry, school, police, fire, water, sewer, cemetery commission, DPW, nobody. I just keep adding stuff on. All right, I mean, does anyone else have any questions or whatever? Do we wanna end the
I'll make a
public?
motion to close the public portion of this.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I don't really have a problem with this at all. I don't know if you guys do.
Nope.
I
No.
think that this is in harmony. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been there or not. It's not
In harmony.
Yeah.
in harmony with the current
Lack of
makeup of
harmony.
that part of the town.
No, it's challenging, and it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like,
I mean, you got an industrial complex across the street, a couple of multifamily houses. No one's gonna be able to see this at all. Like, it just doesn't seem like it would be an issue at all. It's not gonna be detrimental to that area in any way at all. So someone would need to make a motion to grant a special permit to construct a 200 square foot plus or minus storage area on the rear of 9 City Depot Road, according to the plan submitted, stating that the structure would be no more detrimental to the current use than already existed and in harmony with the neighborhood.
I'll make a motion to grant a special permit for the applicant for the construction of the additional unit based on the plans proposed and submitted here today, under the understanding that it's no more harmful or detrimental to the neighborhood. Yeah.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So there's a 20-day appeal period. You have to wait up for the 20 days. Once the 20 days is up, you're gonna get the special permit from the town clerk, which you need to record that at the registry of deeds. You're gonna record the whole document with them, not just like one page. And then, in the meantime, if you wanna deal with the building inspector or whatever other agencies you need to deal with in the town.
Thank you.
All right, good luck. So we have any other, we're gonna review, approve the minutes. Any comments on the minutes from the last meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
There's a motion made to approve the minutes as typed. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Minutes. Any other business that we're unaware of at the time of publication? So I want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you.
So April 7th is the next meeting.